All right, one more thing I want to talk about in this discussion about contracting an entire muscle is the role of motor units, okay? I want to start by reminding you what a motor unit is. So definition is right here. A motor unit is one motor neuron plus all of the muscle fibers that it innervates, that it gives input to, okay? So looking at this example right here, you can see that our motor units are color coded, right? So we have in purple, this purple motor neuron is giving input to these muscle fibers that are colored purple in this diagram. So that's one motor unit, is all this purple stuff, okay? Another motor unit is the blue. So this blue motor neuron plus the blue the blue muscle fibers. And then another motor unit is this red one, this motor neuron, the red motor neuron plus the red muscle fibers, okay? If you look at any single muscle on a macro level, it's going to consist of several motor units as illustrated in this example, right? So we have this muscle right here. You can see that we've got our red motor unit, our blue motor unit, and our purple motor unit, okay? Incidentally, this is just kind of a little fun fact. All of the fibers in a single unit are the same type, right? So all the red ones, like if one, let's say this red one is a slow twitch muscle fiber, the rest of the muscle fibers in that motor unit will also be slow twitch. If this purple one is fast twitch, then all of the other purple ones will also be fast twitch. Okay, so all of the fibers in one motor unit are the same type, and motor units are going to vary in size. So sometimes we have one motor neuron giving input to just a few muscle fibers. Other times we have one motor neuron giving input to hundreds of muscle fibers. And I want you to just take a moment now to ponder this question right here. What are the functional implications of that? Why would you want motor units that vary in size? Just think about that for a few seconds. Okay, so it helps to have motor units of different size because that allows you to achieve different levels of control, different levels of precision of control of your muscles. So if you are doing something that's very, that requires fine control, like embroidering, which, you know, of course we all do in our spare time, right? Embroidering, that's going to require very precise control over individual small groups of muscle fibers, right? You might want this small group of muscle fibers to do something slightly different from this other group of muscle fibers. Therefore, it helps to have your, you know, your muscles in your fingers composed of many, many different motor units, okay? On the other hand, if you want to do, you know, some sort of large action like jumping or something, you're basically going to send the same signal to like all of your muscles or a large number of muscle fibers. And in that case, it makes more sense to just have a large motor unit where you have one motor neuron giving commands to a large number of muscle fibers. That way you can give those muscle fibers all the same command, and that will help you do whatever like sort of gross motor movement that you want to do, like jumping. I don't know if I already said that. Okay, but back to this question of the role of motor units in the contraction of a muscle. Okay, what I want to say about when we contract a muscle is that we start by recruiting a few motor units, and then we recruit more and more until we achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve. Okay, so we start by, yeah, basically this. We recruit additional motor units to generate more force. So we start small with a few motor units and add on and on to that to strengthen our muscle contraction. Okay. Um, Incidentally, it turns out that we recruit our slow twitch muscle fibers first, then those like medium 2As, and then our fast twitch muscle fibers. Yeah. One more thing that I want to say, also just kind of a side note, is that one thing that our muscles do in order to avoid fatigue is they take turns contracting different motor units, right? So let's say you want to just kind of like hold your arm like this. You might start by activating your blue and the purple motor units, but then maybe the purple will drop out and the red ones will take over for the purple ones, and so on. So they kind of rotate activation so as to avoid becoming fatigued. Of course, you can't do this if you're using all of your motor units, right? So if you are performing a maximal contraction where you're contracting every single one of your motor units, you can't do that rotation to avoid fatigue. But if you're doing a submaximal contraction, that is one strategy that our muscles use to avoid fatigue.